Hi everyone, welcome back to another cozy art vlog. I'm Mickeeva, and if you're joining me for the first time, I'm a postgrad illustrator living in Atlanta, Georgia. In today's video, I decided to do a little bit of a voiceover since I felt like it's been so long since I've done one of those, and I guess I just feel like I have a few things to share on the topic of having an art slump. Though it may not seem like it on my channel because you've been seeing me make art in a lot of my recent videos, at the time of this painting, I feel like I was just coming out of an art slump. For a good while, maybe 2 weeks or so, I felt like I had just no desire to make art. I was sort of feeling a little bit stressed out because life post-grad is really, really hard. And I felt a lot of pressure to sort of figure my life out, and even though I turned 25 this year, big shocker, right? Because people usually think I'm younger than I look. But yeah, I sometimes just feel so behind in life, and I know that life isn't linear and a lot of societal expectations are just that, but I was feeling really down on myself, and so of course that also reflected in my art and in my work. I was comparing myself to other artists, and I just kind of felt lost and just frustrated. So this day, when I finally took out my paints after a long hiatus, it felt like a small victory. So I guess I just wanted to say that if you find yourself in an art slump right now, just know that it's going to be okay and that it's going to get better. My strategy at first, you could say, was to just take it easy, and at first I just didn't force myself to make anything at all. But slowly I felt a desire to make art again, but I tried my best to give myself permission to make quote-unquote bad art. I didn't want to focus on it being too perfect or raising my expectation about the final result. I just wanted to let myself play with art again with no agenda. And it actually worked. I slowly regained my desire to create again with just a little patience and a little love. In fact, I've been creating in my sketchbook a lot more recently, and it's literally been such a positive impact on my art practice. And I would love to share my thoughts about that later in another video. But yeah, if you too find yourself in an art slump right now, I hope that this encourages you. I hope that this video is just a little bit of comfort for you, and that you remember that you're still an artist even though you feel this way. I think it's so easy to forget that because as artists, we enjoy what we do. We enjoy creating, and so when there's a time when we don't enjoy creating, sometimes it's just our body and our mind's way of telling us to slow down a little bit and to reevaluate or to just take a break. Sometimes all we need is rest. Yeah, I hope that this encourages you. So I think this was either the next day or a couple days later, but I decided to paint the background pink. And for this piece, I had done a little bit of an acrylic ink underpainting, which I've never done before. I just kind of wanted to try a new technique and just kind of see how it would influence the colors that I put on top. So in the end, I decided to cover that up and put a pink background. For this piece, it was just very like a fun piece for me because I felt like it was spring, it was getting warmer outside, and I just really wanted to paint some flowers. And so I've been really into painting daisies lately. In fact, you're gonna see this in more videos that I make, just in my daisy phase, I guess. But it's one of my favorite flowers, and it was just so much fun to paint this. Even though I don't love it, I think that the composition could use a little bit of work, but it was still such a fun piece for me. And again, it was just a piece that helped me to get out of my art slump, and it was just so bright and happy, and every time I would look at it, I would just feel really good. So today we're in my ceramic studio because I haven't been down here in quite some time. Throughout the winter down here it's very cold, this being my basement, unfinished basement where I have all my ceramic stuff, and so it was kind of hard to work down here. And now that it's spring and a lot warmer, I wanted to come back down here again and start practicing my forms and overall just keep getting better at working on the wheel. So I thought I would take you guys along with me and show you kind of me in the studio. I'm going to try my best to film as much as I can. So you just saw me sketch this little sketch. You just saw me sketching on this little board, and the reason why I'm sketching on this is because I wanted to try and use a medium that I haven't used since I got it, really, and that is my Posca pens. I got a whole bunch of these and I just haven't shown them any love. So I decided that I'm going to try something a little bit different and try playing around with these today on this piece of board. Or like, this is like a very thin wood panel that I had prepped with some gesso, and the reason I'm using that is because Posca and paper just don't really mix together very well, so I thought having like a harder surface would work better. So yeah, just kind of wanted to play around with that, but I also just wanted to turn on the camera because I haven't filmed anything in like over 2 weeks, I'm pretty sure. I think the last thing I filmed was like me painting this little piece here, and then today I'm gonna be doing more flowers. So I've just been in a very flowery mood lately. Maybe it's because it's spring now, I don't know, but I think spring is definitely my favorite season. It's just so pretty, so warm, and I just get so much happier around this time. And yeah, so I guess that's why I'm drawing a lot of flowers right now. Another thing I wanted to say was thank you guys so much for 1,000 subscribers. This is my first time acknowledging that milestone on camera, so I wanted to say thank you for just keeping me company here on YouTube on these videos, and just your support, your kind words are just so, I'm just so grateful to have you guys in my life, and I'm so glad to be able to document my little creative journey here on YouTube. And so speaking of YouTube, another thing, another update is that I actually got a new lens, or I should say my sister got a new lens, because this is her camera and I film on her camera for my videos, and so we kind of share it in a way. But she got a new lens, and so when she buys a new lens, of course I use it and I benefit too. So let me show you guys the difference in this lens. So currently I'm using a 50mm, and we got a 16mm, and it's a wide angle lens, so I'll be able to show a lot more and it won't be so cropped in all the time. I mean, I love the 50 for like getting those nice juicy art detail shots, but it can be nice to have like a little bit of a wider lens. So I'm gonna stay in the same position so you guys can see the difference between this lens and the 16mm. So let's do it. So this is literally the difference between the 50mm and the 16 that is on right now. You can see it's crazy wide angle. So yeah, things might look a tad distorted, and I haven't moved the camera. Like, this is just me with the camera in the same position. But yeah, like crazy. Like I feel like now you can see like more of my space. But yeah, and even though I'm not that big of a vlogger, I think this is like a decent vlog camera type of lens situation. So I'll be able to kind of like bring the camera around with me a little bit more, I guess. And yeah, so it's just really weird. I'm still getting used to this. So yeah, you guys are back on my smaller tripod. So as I said, I am going to try and use these Posca markers. I only have so few colors to work with, so I love pink and green combination. Like, that's my favorite color combination. So I think I'm going to go ahead and work with these. we're done. Do I love it? No, not really. But it was fun to do. Pretty much use these colors. I just don't love it, but that's okay. It's part of experimenting and just allowing myself to create just to create and play around with things and not being afraid to try things or try new things. So yeah, I think it's really convenient though, because it's acrylic paint, right? Acrylic paint marker, but you don't have to worry about making a mess or needing water. You can just pop out your poscas and draw away. So I do like the convenience of markers in general. That's why I really like working with them. So yeah, I definitely want to try more posca marker paintings or drawings in the future. That is that.